Sarah had always dreamed of reaching the top of the mountain. Not just any mountain, but the tallest and most challenging peak in a region, Mount Everest. It was a goal that seemed almost impossible for someone like her, someone who had never even hiked seriously before, who had no climbing experience and who struggled with self-doubt. But Sarah had something stronger than her fear, a deep, burning desire to prove herself that she could accomplish anything she set her mind to. As a child, she had often been told that she wasn't strong enough, fast enough, or smart enough. Those words, though well-intended, had built walls around her potential, and for years she carried them like burdens on her back. One day, while scrolling through social media, Sarah came across a quote that would change her life forever. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow is our doubts of today. Those words lit a fire inside her. She realized that the only thing standing in her way was her own belief in her limits. So she decided to take action. She didn't start with Everest. She started small, long walks in her neighborhood, followed by nature's trails and then a few smaller peaks. With every step, Sarah's confidence grew, but so did the challenges. She encountered rocky paths, unpredictable weather, and most of all, her own inner voice telling her to quit. It wasn't easy, and there were days when Sarah doubted whether she was cut out for this at all. But with every setback, she found herself digging deeper into her resilience, refusing to give up. Months passed, Sarah's muscles grew stronger, her endurance improved, and most importantly, her mindset has shifted. She was no longer the person who doubted her capabilities. She had become someone who embraced every challenge as an opportunity to grow. Finally, the day arrived when Sarah stood at the base of Mount Everest, looking up at its towering peak. The path ahead was daunting, but she wasn't scared anymore. It was just about the mountain. It was about conquering the doubt she had, and the doubt she carried with her for so long. She had already climbed every mountain that had stood in her way. Everest was just another challenge to overcome. For weeks, Sarah pushed herself harder than she ever had before, battling the altitude, exhaustion, and moments where she thought about turning back. But each time she remembered the journey that had led her there, the step that she had taken, the limits that she had shattered, and the strength that she had built. On a crisp morning after a grueling climb, Sarah finally reached the summit of Mount Everest. The world stretched out before her, vast and awe-inspiring. She stood tall, breathless, not just from the climb, but from the realization that she had done it. She'd reached the top, not because she was the fastest or the strongest, but because she refused to let doubt stop her. As Sarah stood there, looking out at the endless horizon, she smiled. She had climbed more than just a mountain. She had climbed her fears, her insecurities, and the voices that told her she couldn't. She knew now that there was nothing she couldn't do, if she believed in herself and she kept pushing forward, no matter how steep the climb.